Hey, welcome. What's up, guys? What's going on? Hey, Possum. Hey, Amy. What's happening? So, as usual, it's Tuesday night, and usually I throw a little Tuesday night, Tuesday chat, tiny Tuesday chat. And it's late because I got home. I just got home from the camp. I work the camp on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was the first day, and it was so great. I loved it. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm so lucky to be able to do it. I really enjoy it. The mini camper is not coming along too fast because I'm working so much, number one. And number two, uh, whenever I seem to have a little bit of time, it's raining and pouring here. We had like some really bad downpours yesterday, and we had some this morning. It's kind of not really. Hey, good day from Australia. Very cool. Warwick, how you doing? Warwick, saying it correctly. Multitasking, watching two lives. You go, girl. Amy, you're good. I do that, like with my phone. A lot of times, I'll be watching more than one. So I just wanted to come on and tell everybody how excited I was because camp started tonight, and yeah, so it was a great evening. I had a lot of fun. It was great to see all the campers that I'm used to seeing. Couple new faces, not too many. Lots of new faces when it comes to the counselors this year. There's only about like 5 or 6 that are, return again counselors, which is it's cool to meet new people or whatever. But I definitely miss the old folks. The old counselors that I worked with for years that were really great people too. Yes, thanks. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, it's one of the greatest jobs I've ever had. And hey, kiss my grass. What's up? It's one of the greatest jobs I've ever had in my life. Really, I really love it. It's a special needs camp, and the campers are of every age, and they go from like 7 and 8, I think, all the way up to one is just about 3 months difference in age from me. I don't remember if he's older or younger than me. And I pulled into the nurse station, and there he is, my Robert, who's like either 3 months older or 3 months younger than me. And he was at the nurse's station when I got there, so I had a really great welcome. It was really cool. Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing great. Kiss my grass. Yeah. Where are you located, Amy? This camp has kids from all over the United States and in Europe and other countries too. They come. We have kids that come from Jamaica, just all over the place. Um, Mostly the United States, but uh, we do have a good amount that are from other countries. Yeah, so we have campers that come from Michigan, come from Chicago. We have campers that come from Florida, California, just all over Pennsylvania, all over the United States. It's called Camp Huntington, and it's you can find their website out there if you just Google Camp Huntington, High Falls, New York, and they have scholarship programs and things like that too. It is expensive, and I've been told, but there are scholarship programs. There are where there are a lot of wealthy families who send their children. And what happens is they also donate free weeks or free. They donate the amount of money it would cost for someone to come to camp for a week and basically sponsor them. So those are really cool things that they do. Some of the parents that can do that for other families' children. Yeah, it's a really cool program. Um, you really should go to the website and read about it, just because it's so. It's not what you would think. It's not your everyday camp. It's more of a, you know, allowing kids and adults, young and all different ages, to discover what they're good at and to foster that and to, you know, get that going instead of trying to change behavior and do things like this. Um, they work on reinforcing the good stuff and the things that they're really good at. It's a really amazing program. Yeah, it's one of the most amazing programs, and I'm gonna say we probably have more than 50% campers are on the spectrum. Um, but we also have, some of the most rare, the most rare issues, that there. We have one camper whose disorder is named after his family, so it's a very cool place. It really is, and it's a big family year round. They have other times of the year where they have other things going on. They'll have New Year's, Christmas and New Year's camp. They'll have, I think, it Thanksgiving or fall, and then I think there's one in the spring. Yeah, I don't usually work those because it only usually takes like one nurse for those programs during that time of year. So I wait all year to be able to go work up there during the summer. Yeah, I work on the very cool kiss my grass. So it's I'm very lucky. I always say that I'm so lucky to be able to work there. And my the nurse director Margaret is always like, "Do you want to take this hour?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to take that. I want to take those hours. Sure. If I can get hours there." She's like, "Do you want to work the 4th of July?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to work the 4th of July. Sounds great. Sure, I'd love to." So, and on top of that, I need the money, so that's always helpful. Um, I just checked my balance in my checking account before I left for camp, and it was $3 and something cents. I'm like, hopefully nothing uh, goes clears tonight, or I'm screwed, because tomorrow morning I get paid from the urgent care. So, urgent care is only a week pay, 1 week pay, again, because we've been doing a lot of I work a weekend for this girl. I work one day of the weekend for this girl. She works one day for me. Hey, Freedom, what's up? How's it going? How are those chickens? Did you eat any of them yet? I saw you butchering them. And actually, that's a really unique way to do it. I never thought of skinning the chickens. The only thing I have to say about that is I love the skin of a chicken. Oh, I love it. I love it. Like my friend will get boneless, skinless breasts. I'm like, oh, okay. I really love the skin. Hey, Freaky Geek, what's up? Freedom did a butchering butchering video with his chickens. His broilers, are they called? Broilers, right? And of course, I watched it. Me too. I love fried chickens because I do too. Yeah, I know. I saw you had one of those. It looked like one of those turkey fryers. We used that one year for our turkey. One something that looked just like that. And I know that it's hard to get the temperature just right. Has to be like 150, I think, if I remember right. But Miguel used to take when I lived at the farm. Miguel used to take the chickens. He would uh, so he would catch the chicken, force feed it vodka, I think, or any kind of alcohol that was around. Force feed it alcohol and wait for like about 20 minutes with the freaking chicken hanging upside down from a tree branch. And he'd let the chicken hang there while it was getting drunker and drunker, I guess. And he said that made for better meat, sweeter meat, because they weren't producing adrenaline or something that ruined the meat. It calmed them down. It it would ruin the meat. Then that's what his theory was. Those are Peruvians. They have their traditions or whatever. So literally, he would force feed the chicken vodka or whatever it may be. It was usually vodka because that's what was around the house all the time. Maybe sometimes rum or whatever it might be. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that before. Actually, I have heard of it once before, not from Miguel, but from other people, that it's supposed to calm them and make the meat tastier. Yeah, so anyway, cool. I would love to see how you cook those, Freedom. That'd be cool. So tomorrow morning, I go see my counselor for um, when I had been diagnosed with cancer and everything. I was given a counselor because I had, mentioned an interest to go back to school for nursing. And when I went to the school for the nursing, the woman asked me, was asking me a bunch of questions and you know what events brought me to decide to go back for nursing and all this stuff. And I had mentioned that I got diagnosed with cancer, and I that made me want to go back and actually do the thing that I've always wanted to do. So I went, I went to do the nursing. So she referred me because of the type of cancer that I have. It creates a situation where you're going to have to take medicine for the rest of your life, and that actually qualifies as a disability when it comes to vocational rehab. And I was able to get all my schooling paid for my LPN. So really cool. Well, I have a meeting with that same counselor tomorrow. I haven't seen her in since 2016, and she's like, "Well, let's talk about maybe if you want to maybe go back to school and start maybe advancing in the direction that you want to in your career and things like that." So that'll be really nice to go and see her. She's a really wonderful person, and she's done a lot of really great things for me over the years. So I really care about her. The way I met her, and see, it was just a surprise that I got her as a counselor, because the way I met her was that I worked with her for years when I worked with the kids in the school to work program, where I took them out to job sites and things like that. These are kids from special ed that had, different disabilities and things like that. We introduced them to the world of work so that they could get a taste of what it was like to work and what they might want to do in the future when they graduate from high school, if they want to, what kind of job they might want to get or something similar to that. Anyway, she was the would they call it Access VR in New York? So it's vocational rehabilitation or vocational services. And she was the counselor for the vocational services for most of my students, because of the area where my program was over here in New York. So anyway, it turned out that I got her, the woman that I'd worked with for years, getting other kids services and stuff. Turned out that she was going to be my vocational counselor, which was great. It was really great. So she was always really great, positive, um, encouraging me to keep going and stuff like that. So I have a feeling this might be part of it tomorrow, is that she wants to encourage me to go, push further and go farther. Um, I don't think it's going to be RN, because I had such a problem trying to get into a program that I just don't think I'll ever try that again. What's next? Giving chicken bone blows. What is that? What's next? I get it now. Oh, I got it. I know. Well, that's how I grew up. We just chopped their freaking heads off and let them run around. We thought that was so cool. So I know you guys tied their legs or did whatever. My brothers used to hold their legs. One brother would hold the neck, and the other one would chop. And then he would throw the chicken and watch it run around or flop around and go crazy for about 10 minutes. Oh, I had some really crazy older brothers. They love doing things like that. So anyway, yeah, like I know that I didn't grow up exactly on a farm, but I grew up with a father who was a farmer, a dairy farmer. But when you're a dairy farmer, especially I guess up in this area, you can't just do dairy. You kind of have to do other things to kind of uh, keep it going, and because it's not always a guaranteed thing with dairy. So my grandmother had chickens. Um, you know, my grandmother's farm had pigs, chickens. They didn't have goats though. I don't ever remember anything about goats. They had, they had rabbits. They had, because grandma was Austrian and she made. I mean, my grandmother could cook like I have never. I mean, she's incredible. She used to make Hassenpfeffer stew. That was a big thing. That was like a delicacy for the Austrians. They just love it. And she would make Hassenpfeffer stew with the rabbits that they raised and stuff. She just loved it. I It was okay. It wasn't really my favorite. That's for sure. Does anybody ever have kind of German Austrian style Hassenpfeffer stew? You know what Hassenpfeffer stew is? It's rabbit stew. And so there's kind of herbs and spices that are put in there that are very kind of, I can't even explain it, but very German Austrian type stuff. And it's not. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't my favorite thing to have. Grandma made lots of other food that was really amazing. Besides Hasselpfeffer stew, I didn't like that so much. No, Bugs Bunny possum. Bugs Bunny didn't make that up. That was a real thing. Yeah, no, Hassenpfeffer stew is a real thing. Listen, my father used to take us um, snowshoe rabbit hunting. Now, I don't know if you guys even know what a snowshoe rabbit is. It's a white rabbit that has like really big paws and is able to run in snow, and you know it's a and I don't know. I guess I don't know if they're all over the country, but I know up here in the Adirondacks and areas they are very prominent. There's lots of them, and I know in the winter they're white. I don't know what color they are in the summer, if they shed and change colors. I don't know. But in the winter they're white. So we used to. My father used to go hunting all the time. He had a cabin up in the Adirondacks, and he would come home. We would all come home, and I was not a great shot, and I never got I mean, I might have shot one or two rabbits and probably shot them wrong, like, shot their body instead of just their head. Um, so we would have downstairs in the cellar in the basement, we had the big beams, the big wooden beams that, were the supporting beams in the basement in the cellar. We had a cellar and we had nails that were hammered in 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way across these beams. And so you would take the tent like between the tendon and the bone, and you would put it on the nail, and that's how you'd hang up the rabbit, cut around the paws there, and you would peel down the skin. I know it sounds really gross, but you would open the center and gut them in the beginning, and then to get the fur off, you would go and then slice down the leg, just peel the the fur all the way down to the neck, and then just chop off the head, and you would save the fur and the head, and then you would finish taking care of the meat of the rabbit and cleaning it and stuff. You uh, wash it out and clean it, and then you would chop the feet off for good luck charms. My brothers and I used to make good luck charms for people. It was fun. We had like really creative names for our beagles. My father bred beagles, hunting beagles. So I think that the two most common names ever used for the beagles were boy and girl. Literally, the dog's name was girl or boy. Um, I can't remember any other names to tell you the truth. I mean, literally, they were boy and girl were like the biggest names. Or girly, like we would name her. It would be girly or whatever. There were one or two other names that would sneak in, as the breeding went on through the years. But those were outside dogs. They were never inside dogs, because I guess an inside dog does not hunt as well, is what my father always said. So yeah, so he bred these beagles. Oh, look at this! Look! Oh, she's telling you folks. What? Is it time for bed? What? What are you telling them? What? Do you hear something? Yeah? Do you love me? No. Are you my baby? Yes? Yes? I don't know what she's barking at. She's getting old. She might be a little senile. Oh. Sometimes she's just barking at me like she wants a snack or something. That's how she is these days. She is 14 and a half years old, Amy, just so you know. Yes, kiss my grass. She's very cute, but she's 14 and a half years old. And age is really, yeah. When I lose her, I don't know what I'm going to do because she's just like my world. She's been everywhere with me. We lived in Florida. We've lived in California. We've lived in Mexico. We've lived everywhere together. We've traveled back and forth across the United States. Um, out, we went out to California, down to Florida, back from Florida to California, from Florida back to New York. And years ago, we went down to Florida from New York and back up. So she's a real traveler. She's a great companion when I'm traveling. I really do love having her. and having to stop and all that stuff. And Maxine has this thing where she's great and she's quiet and she's sleeping in the back seat or in the. I fold everything down, so I put her little bed up, set up her bed and everything. So she'll be sleeping there. But as soon as she has an idea, she hears the turn signal or the brakes. Somehow she realizes the brakes are going on. She's up and she's barking. She starts barking and barking and barking. What going inside messes with the nose? Okay. Oh, Cooper's 12. Cool. She's a sweetheart, that's for sure. Now look, she's already conking out. See? That quick. Conk right out. She's like that. You know how it goes. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna be signing off. It's almost 10. I have to have my cup of tea because I like to have a nice cup of tea before I go to bed. It relaxes me. And I got to get up decently early tomorrow for a 9 o'clock appointment, and then to be to work at 10:30. So uh, I think I'm going to be signing off. I have some laundry to finish up, but I wanted to jump on again and say how happy I am to have had the privilege to work at the camp tonight. I just can never explain how lucky I am to be able to have done that. It's so great. I so missed all my guys at the camp. And it's so nice for me because I am not a desk person. And that's what I'm stuck doing right now. I have to sit in an office building at a desk all day. And that's not me. I am out there in the community with folks with disabilities, working with them. You know, it's just not me to sit around and answer a phone all day. I know that it's great work to help the families with children with special needs, but you know, it's just not my type of help that I'm good at. I'm not a one-on-one, but I'm a people person. I'm out there with the guys, doing what I need to do and things like that. So being able to work at the camp is great. And I've also realized that working on the weekends at the urgent care, that's a really great experience too. I really enjoy working with the patients. I'm one of those people that aren't very good with rules. If you tell me no, you can't do that, I really have a hard time with that, and I try to figure out why I can and how I can do it. You know what I mean? So I'm not so great with that. So you know, I try, but like when we're told we can't use stickers, post-its on the clipboard that say what the person is there for, that's kind of doesn't make any sense to me. I need to know what they're there for, or otherwise I'm going to say, "Oh, you're here because you have a rash on your vagina. Oh, come on in." You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to hear that, and you can't do that. So why we can't have a post-it note on there that says what they're there to be seen for? Because I have to know what room to bring them into. For certain things like a tick bite and things like that, we have a specific room that is kind of set up with all the stuff that's needed for the provider to help someone with a tick bite. So if I know they have a tick bite before I'm bringing them back to a room, I don't have to come in and say, "I'm sorry, we're gonna have to move to this room, or we're gonna have to move to that room," and stuff like that. Makes no sense. Anyway, I don't know who's ordering the post-its, but they gotta lighten up and stop being so cheap. I Okay, guys, love you all. Thank you so much for coming. Um, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. And as soon as I can get some work going on the car, I'm gonna definitely film it, and I'll be doing some videos about that. So just taking me some time. I don't know. I think I have Saturday off, or I have Sunday off this week, so that might help. All right, guys. Take care. Be good. Bye bye.